We get influenced by these things. Bill Clinton should be an influence on you in world politics, not influence on you on what you eat. Then the vegetarian lobby doesn't even tell you, they talk about athletes, they talk about athletes who are vegans. We talk about the fact that nutrition for performance is not possible without first-class proteins that come only from animal sources. The protein that you get in dal, sprouts, you don't even consider that as protein. You don't even count it in your diet. The protein that you get from soy is also second-class protein. It is not complete amino acid profiles. They're not going to help you build muscle. But if you understand that and you don't even supplement at the same time, you can't expect results. You can't expect to be athletic. At the same time, the vegetarian lobby wants to prove to you. I'll tell you, now of course there's been, who has heard about the fact that John Abraham is a vegetarian? You heard? Yeah? Do you still believe he's a vegetarian? It took him a while to come out in the open. But here are the definitions of vegetarian. There are vegans, who are the true vegetarians, who will not even touch milk products. They're the true vegans, the true vegetarians. And they are in a big problem. Meaning they really face a lot of problems, health problems. 99% of Indians who are vegetarians are actually lacto-vegetarians. What do you mean by lacto-vegetarians? That means milk is allowed and milk products are allowed. Get it? Which is why the whey protein which is derived from milk also should be okay for vegetarians. Why is milk, which is considered vegetarian, have an amino acid profile or has the quality that is ideal for us? Because it is actually an animal source, it is not a vegetarian source. Then there are pescatarians, sorry, lacto-vegetarians. You know what lacto-vegetarians are? The ones who don't eat meat, but they eat milk and eggs. There are lots of athletes who are lacto-vegetarians who made it very high in athletics. I'm sure inclusion of meat would have improved their performance even more, but they made it very high in athletics because their first-class proteins were not subpar. But they did not write lacto, they simply wrote vegetarians. That's how misleading it gets. Then there is a pescatarian. A pescatarian is the one who also includes fish. So you've got your milk, your eggs and fish. Enough to give you all the first-class proteins. But the pescatarian will still call himself vegetarian. The vegetarian lobby, if that pescatarian has achieved any athletic excellence, will use him as a poster boy and just skip the part of him having fish and eggs and simply call him a vegetarian. And of course, there are certain Scandinavian countries in which you are a vegetarian if you just don't eat beef. That means just by the removal of beef from your diet, you can call yourself a vegetarian. Which is why when you fly by these airlines, if you order a vegetarian meal, expect some chicken or fish in your in your plate. And if you want a truly vegetarian meal, you have to order what is called as a special Hindu meal, vegetarian meal. That's when you'll actually get what we call as vegetarian. So again, it is very, very clear that you require first-class proteins in the right amounts to build your body. You require exercise forms that actually build your body, and that's when you can actually hope to stay young through your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, no matter what. Having said that, I want to share one experience with you. At one of my seminars way back, and I think about 6-7 years back, in Pune, there was this gentleman in the crowd, looked like a foreigner, short with white hair, very vibrant personality. So while talking, my eyes kept going to him and he was listening extremely intently. So I kept connecting with him during the whole talk. After the talk, I was talking a lot on anti-aging. After the talk was over, this guy gets up. He's a sprightly fellow. He gets up without any, normally old people to do this. So he gets up, stomach in, chest out, very healthy, very nice posture he's got. And he comes and says, I'm joining your gym. And there were lots of people around him. So I happened to ask him, I said, sure, I mean, we want people like you in our gym. In fact, that's what encourages more senior citizens. And I was so sure that he actually worked out wherever he was because he wanted to work out. So he says, no, I've never worked out in my life. Okay. Then comes the other big surprise. So I said, okay, if you don't mind, can you share your age with us? What's your age? I had pegged him at about 60. I said, this looks like a real 50-year-old, 60-year-old. fit 60-year-old. He very matter of fact said 81. Okay, and right now he's 86 and he still looks the same. Okay, so 81. Now here's a guy, I remember stayed about 25 kilometers away from the place where I had my seminar. He had, Tavera, that big huge Chevrolet thing. So he had driven his Tavera 25 kilometers. Seminar ended at some 10:30, 11. He went back 25 kilometers in that car. I know 50-year-olds who say, "Abhi pressure bahut upar jata hai. Abhi driving nahi hota hai. Abhi traffic nahi hota hai." Here's an 80-year-old who's completely and totally enjoying the independence of a 30-year-old. Somebody tells him there's an interesting seminar that's going to happen. He picks up the keys. 81-year-olds, if you all have at your house, are they allowed to go out on their own? If the 81-year-old in your house is, "I'm just going out." "Oh, where are you going?" Don't do this to us. Please, let me have the time to take you out. I'll take you out when I have the time. They're imprisoned. The 81-year-olds are imprisoned in your house, and they don't even require a lock because the lock is on their bodies. So a guy who gets into his Tavera and drives 25 kilometers just because he wants to hear a talk on the spur of the moment is an 81-year-old with the quality of life of a 30-year-old. I want to talk to you about maturity of thought. And when I say maturity, I don't mean the maturity that should come with age. In this aspect, there are many old 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds who are extremely immature. This is where maturity counts. This man was a living example, or probably the poster boy or the brand ambassador of anti-aging. Correct? I had spent 3 hours talking to them as to how important working out is to anti-aging, how important strength training is to anti-aging. Correct? I had spoken, I had given you examples, the John Buddha, this, that, the Chavan Prashad, he was exactly all of that. I had pegged him at 60, he turned out to be 81. And you know, when I asked him his age, that's another thing. Normally, there are people who think that they look younger. Guess my age, guess my age. Yes. And you are put in a major spot, wondering what to say, and you always end up being on the safer side. So you say, 22? Why? Because you don't want to go wrong. You don't want to be higher than what he is. So there are these guys, and they are all making a very big deal of it. I like that. I said, "Can I know your age?" And it was a very matter of fact, 81. There was no suspense. Yes. It was just a matter of fact, I'm 81. Now, this makes my entire talk fall flat on its face if the thinking of the crowd is immature. I'm sure there were immature people around, standing around, because while I was talking to the gentleman, there were other people standing around, okay? And they surely must be saying, "Dekh, bola na, workout jaruri nahi hai. Itna time is 3 घंटा में सुना. देखा, ये 81, दिखता ही 81." And he just said what? He's never worked out in his life. So there are many people who want to believe that working out actually is not necessary, and they get validated by these things. Get it? It's like you're lazy, you don't like being called lazy. So when you hear some news, somebody died of a heart attack on a treadmill. So instead of feeling bad, what happens? देखा, बोला, देखो बोलते treadmill में जा, see what happened to guy popped it. Where he popped it? On the treadmill. So these things become validation for people. So having said that, where is the maturity coming from this 81-year-old fellow? It would have been very common for me to come across an 81-year-old, like, not common to see an 81-year-old like him, but there are lots of people. He could have come to me. Look at this. The immature approach and the mature approach. The immature approach. His name, by the way, is Dr. Warren Reeves. He's an Australian with a Maharashtrian wife living in Pune. And he's an osteopath. He was earlier an orthopedic surgeon, and he switched to osteopath. An osteopath basically doesn't use surgical intervention, uses manipulation to treat patients. There are many quack osteopaths, which you also call as chiropractors. But there are some orthopedic surgeons who made the shift to being osteopaths or chiropractors. They know their stuff, because at least they've had formal education in orthopedics. Having said that, he's got a thriving practice. And if you see chiropractors at work, or people who do deep tissue massages, it's a very laborious thing to do, and it tires your hands out like mad. And this man at 80 plus has got a thriving business with bloody patients all the way from morning till evening. So he's at the peak of his practice in Pune, being 80 plus. He would have, his immature approach would have been, he would have come to me saying, son, you said all this thing about anti-aging and all that. Guess what my age is? So I would have said 60, he would have said, you're wrong, I'm 81. And guess what? I've never worked out in my life. So all this working out is fine. Lead life like I did. Enjoy everything. There's no need to work out. Keep a young mind. Never, never retire from your work. Keep doing something useful. I eat everything, but I eat in moderation. I eat on time. That is all I do. I sleep early. I wake up early. And that's the secret mantra to my fitness. Correct? Hence, everything that you said, shove it. I'm 81 and you thought I was 60. That's the immature approach. And here was the mature approach. At 81, he had never stepped into a gym, ever in his life. Enjoyed fitness levels that would shame a 50-year-old. Okay? Sometimes shame a 40-year-old. Enjoyed the independence that 40, 45-year-olds don't enjoy. Right? Was enjoying all the benefits that I was telling people they can enjoy at the age of 80, only if they followed a bodybuilding lifestyle. And guess what? The mature approach was, son, I'm going to join your gym. Now there were still other immature people around, so, but why the hell does he want to join a gym? और क्या बनता है? मेरे घर में 80 हो रहा हो तो ऐसा ये अभी टवेरा चला रहा है ये कर रहा है. What? Why does it? This is another thing. Nobody questions you for wanting more money, and we want to inspire people to want enhanced fitness levels, enhanced physical capacities. We want to inspire them. Na bas kafi hai is not something that we want to inspire people. We want people to want more. We want them to come with an athlete's outlook. Okay, we want them to be competitive. We at K11 constantly say that the most competitive sport in life is just living life day to day and coming out on top. Every day is a battle and you want to come out on top. And that's what sport is, and that's what competitive sport is. So measure yourself, time yourself, know where you are, want to do more. Enter the gym with a sense of purpose. Just don't enter the gym to meet your friends who you love. I love my gym, I love my friends at my gym, and I go there, I have a good time, I work out also, I chit-chat also, while I'm working out. Don't do that, don't go through the motions. Go there with a sense of purpose. Go there with an athlete's outlook. I used to have this, I remember, very on the fatter side personal training clients I used to have. Many of these females who I could inspire to basically give 100% focus to their workouts. That is at that time, that 1 hour where I was their personal trainer, that would be the most important part of their lives. Okay, and that's something that I want to tell you all, because we normally go to gyms. I've heard this, people say this to me when they see me working out. Baapre, itna bhi dam todne ka. So this, why are you lifting so heavy? But why? So when I tell them that, because I've been doing it for a long time, I need to progress. I need to break through my personal records that I had. They say, yeah, but it makes sense for you. It's your profession, no? It's probably the most important thing in your life. Correct, I agree. I mean, you're a competitive body. But for me, I do it just to stay fit. And such people never stay fit. You cannot. Because to get the rewards out of your workout, there is some kind of importance that you place on it. I constantly tell people that you may have 10 things that are more important than your workout. If you've left those 10 things and come to the gym and you do a workout like a time pass, then you've disrespected those 10 things that you left. You've left those 10 things. You've made your time. That was not a workout. Now in that time, you work like a competitive athlete. It has to be with a sense of purpose. If today is your leg workout, it has to be with a sense of purpose that I have to do better than what I did last time.